I've been an AirPods user for a very long time, and I have found these to be the single most useful piece of Apple tech that I've ever gotten. The AirPods are revolutionary if you're trying to get a lot done. Like for me, I use my MacBook all the time. I use my iPhone all the time. But one thing that I use constantly, even when I can't get my hands on one of those devices, is my AirPods. Like, I like to wash dishes with my AirPods in. I like to go on walks or runs, which I should totally do more of. But I use my AirPods for that. It is a constant thing that I'm using in my life. But something has happened recently to AirPods, and I'm really frustrated about it. So I was using a much older generation of AirPods, upgraded to the newest version, and for some reason, when I made that switch, all of a sudden they just started to suck. It's probably the worst when I'm getting a phone call and I put an AirPod in real quick and it takes forever. Sometimes it never connects. And then when I pick up the phone call, it'll connect in and drop out and connect in and drop out. And at that point, it's like, man, this, what is supposed to be made for extreme convenience, has just become so frustrating. And then when I'm using them to switch back and forth from my computer to my phone, they get messed up. It's randomly happened a few times where I've started watching a YouTube video on my computer, and then when I go to scroll on the page, it starts doing this like choppy audio thing with it. And so it's just really weird. It's all these things that, like, I never thought I would have had these problems, because with the older version of AirPods, I never had any of these problems. But all of a sudden when I upgrade, I don't know if like all of a sudden my phone is getting confused about which pair of AirPods it should use, because there are times where I use the old ones still. And if that's the case, then it's just mainly user error. However, with the T2 chip in here and all the different kind of tech that they've worked into these things, you'd think that it'd be able to be just fine switching back and forth from an older pair to a newer pair, where it actually knows which AirPods you're using. Now, as far as the design goes for these AirPods, I also prefer the older ones. The older ones fit into my ears better. And this is all good news for me, right? Because then I can go and buy older pairs of AirPods and be totally fine, at least for a few more years. But I don't like the whole pinching of the stem of it. I found it so much easier just to double tap on the AirPod. I don't know why that was something. I've heard other people have had a lot of problems with it. I have never had a problem with something accidentally bumping my AirPod or making it pause or anything like that. And so I really liked just double tapping the AirPod to make it do whatever function you want it to take. For me, I always have that on play pause. And so I really want to know in the comments below, have you guys had this problem, or is it just me? Because it's been really frustrating. It's made me want to sell these newer pair of AirPods and just go buy another pair of the older ones, because it's just gotten worse and worse over time. You'd think that Apple, a company that big, who's really great at perfecting software, you would think that over time these would get better and better and more reliable, but it seems like they're getting worse. So please let me know in the comments below if you feel like that's the case, or maybe it's just my own pair and it's not that bad. I want to know what you've experienced. And hey, a quick channel update for you guys. I'm going to start putting out probably 2 videos a month. I was trying to do 4 videos a month. And this YouTube channel is a hobby for me, which is actually really good news for you guys, because it means that I don't need this channel to make a bunch of money in order for me to provide for my family. For those of you who don't know, I'm a full-time pastor. And so I just do this stuff because I really like tech, and it's outside of that whole world. So sometimes it's nice to just have something completely different to do, but it's a hobby for me. It's not something that I'm trying to make my full-time gig. And so I can be very honest about products that I think are great or products that I think are terrible without the fear of kind of being shadow banned by these companies. And so ultimately for us and for you guys, it is a much better situation that this remains a hobby for me. And because I like artistic expression and I want to make the highest quality videos, because that's just something that makes me happy, I'm gonna cut down to maybe 1, maybe 2 videos a month instead of shooting for 4 videos a month. I just hope that that consistency is more helpful for you than not. So that's just a small update. Things are going great right now, but this is just something I do for fun. It's not my livelihood. I am called to be a pastor. That's what I will do for the rest of my life. This is just something that I do for fun. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for sticking around. And hey, if you like this video, I know that you probably have an iPhone. Why don't you go ahead and check out this iPhone 15 Pro video right here. I'll see you all in the next one.